So Cassie has herself a brand new baby, and the mommy guilt is already hitting her hard.
I have a 4-month-old daughter named Hazel. Love her so much. And things have been, so mommyhood is way different from what I expected. Let me just start that out the gate. Like, I knew it was going to be hard. I had an idea because I have mom friends. I see moms on TV, obviously. It's fine. But doing it is a lot harder than I had ever anticipated. And I will freely admit that. I'm usually used to doing things like new things really well and easily, and adapting to them is just kind of I know it sounds like egotistical, but it's a skill of mine. Like, I get thrown a challenge, I'm usually pretty good at adapting to it and figuring it out. Not so much with the mom stuff.
It's such a silly statement, you think, but I felt the exact same thing. Like, you know how big a job being a parent is.
Right.
I mean, to use the word awesome is even an understatement, right? But then when it happens to you, it's like you could have never imagined how big a job it is.
You are responsible for another human being.
Yes, and you realize that, and it makes sense to you until the baby's in front of you, and then you realize, like, oh man, it really is big.
Yeah, and there's no off time. There's no, like, when she goes to bed, that's cool, but that's your time to do laundry and all the other baby stuff. And I don't shower anymore. I mean, I try and get a quick one in. Like, as long as she is fed and showered and clothed and healthy and everything is good in her life, then I'm good.
Right.
But you take a back seat, and that's fine. That's part of being a parent. But the thing I never thought I would struggle with, and it's a thing you don't really hear about until you become a mom and then you start struggling with it, is feeding the baby. Now, I know they say fed is best, which I agree with. So this is not a judgment on you if you use formula, but I chose to use breast milk because it is scientifically way better than formula. Some formulas have corn syrup as the first ingredient or vegetable oil, which is gross. I don't want to feed my baby that, but I get it. Fed is best. But breast milk can protect against allergies, eczema, type 1 and 2 diabetes, lymphoma, leukemia, Hodgkin's disease. For me, it lowers my risk of breast and ovarian cancer. Like, it has a slew of benefits, and it helps you bond with your baby.
I had the corn syrup, and look how I turned out.
Another vote for breast milk.
Did you have the boob or the bottle?
I don't know. I never asked my mom.
Kristen's so upset with y'all.
Yeah, I don't, no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing my parents gave me like a vodka.
I do know I drank 40s when I was like 2. I do know that.
Text your mom today.
I'll
They get
find
the
out.
boob or the bottle.
There's nothing wrong with formula. Like, you have to feed your kid, and you have to, you know, and sometimes you have to do what's nearest or cheapest and most available. Like, not everybody can breastfeed. But I chose to breastfeed, and I'm like, it's better for my kid in the long term. And y'all know how, like, granola I got when I was pregnant, like getting rid of all the chemicals. I'm like, this is the most granola way ever to feed your kid. Well, I've been having a lot of trouble pumping enough milk for her to eat. And we went on a big trip recently, and I couldn't pump enough to cover it. So she had to start formula. And it just kills me inside because I had this whole game plan, and everyone's in your ear being like, that is best, but breast milk is the way to go. Like, don't do anything else but breast milk, but just make sure your baby's fed. And it's annoying because that like, fed is best is always like, I feel like it's almost to ease your guilt because you can't feed your child, and I can't. And we made fun, or I did, of a couple weeks ago, we talked about a woman who called 911 in the middle of the night because her breast milk dried up overnight. And we're like, that doesn't happen. Oh, it does.
See, this was your karma right here for making fun of her.
Yeah, I didn't think it could happen, but I got sick, and it stopped coming out. And I think it was just because of the sickness, and it's back now, but it's not in full force. And I have tried everything. I have tried fenugreek pills. I have tried ginger shots and turmeric shots and drinking a lot of water and no caffeine and teas. Like, I have spent so much money on trying to get more to come out, and it just doesn't come out. And my kid today, I had to send her, she's being sent to daycare with a formula bottle, and I feel like I'm failing her because I'm not giving her the best of what she should have. She
In
should
your
have,
mind.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I was, no, in science, breast milk is the best. And I gave birth to her. I should be able to produce food for her. And I'm not. And I'm failing somehow. And I don't know how to get better. And if she gets sick because of it, it's going to be my fault. And I keep thinking back, like, should I not have gone on this trip? What should I have done differently? Should I try and be sleeping more? Should I be eating differently? And I don't know how to fix it. And she's 4 months old, and I'm already failing her.
No, not at all.
But
Yeah.
I am.
There's
But
no-
I am. I should be able to give her the best nutrition possible, and I'm not because I just can't, and I don't know why, and it's so frustrating. And I'm lucky. Like, she latched, which is when the baby, I don't know, like, globs onto your boob so it can eat. For those of you who don't know, a lot of women have a lot of problems with that. And it's a big issue for a lot of moms out there, but the guilt you feel not being able to feed your child. Like if we were in the wild, right, and there was no formula back in the day, I'd be screwed. She'd be screwed.
But you're not, and you can't think like that. So you're saying you're failing. We are here as your friends to tell you you are not.
But
You're
if I can't do this, what else? Like this is the most basic thing you're supposed to be able to do for your child.
But there's a lot of moms out there, Cassie. There's a lot of moms out there.
That's the whole reason there's formulas.
Exactly.
Because this has been happening for so long. So science tells you that breast milk is the best, but science has also made it possible for you to still like give your baby sustenance in those times because so many people go through this.
It's a really boring studio if we all agree, right? So I'm going to tell you that you are failing. 100%.
I'm already telling myself I'm failing. We're already split.
Lindsay, good morning. You're on the Bert Show. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning. I had 2 kids, breastfed for a year for both, and I struggled. There were times I struggled. I got sick. It would go down, and I did all this research that Cassie did, and I tried lots of things, and everybody's different, but when I ate oatmeal and I took B12 dissolvable tablets, vitamins, it was amazing. And all my breastfeeding moms that have struggled, I have recommended the B12 dissolvable tablets, and it has worked wonders for their milk supply.
I think a whole bunch of people are about to call you up and give you a whole bunch of advice.
I would love that because I have more magic pills coming in the mail today. I dropped $50 on them, so let's cross our fingers. But I will take whatever.
Hey, Mary, how can Cassie fail less?
By not being so hard on herself.
Yeah.
I ended up I breastfed my daughter for a year, and then when I had my son, I ended up going through some really horrible, stressful stuff when he was about a month old, and my breast milk dried up overnight. I've never stood in Walmart and cried like I did trying to pick out formula. But I tell you what, he was so much happier. I was so much less stressed out, and we have to stop being so hard on ourselves as moms. We do everything else for them. You've done so well, and I've listened to you about how you pumped in the room, and try and love yourself. You have done amazing, and that baby is not going to be any different for you choosing one or the other.
Truth. Let's talk about Hazel's sense of entitlement.
That's the real problem here.
God, babies want to eat. So
I mean,
rude.
look at those beauties. What do you want to have?
What do you want?
That's why I should be able to pump.
Back in my day, you took what was offered to you. And here she is saying, I want the boob and not the formula. Selfish little kid. You're doing great.
Oh, thanks.
The Bert Show.